The New Testament provides two accounts of the genealogy of Jesus, one in the Gospel of Matthew and another in the Gospel of Luke. Matthew states that Jesus' grandfather is Jacob, while Luke states that he is Heli. To complicate matters further, both Jacob and Heli can't be brothers because they have different fathers. According to famous New Testament scholar Bart Ehrman, this difference is irreconcilable and is evidence that the New Testament contains errors. However, this seeming error has been simply explained by the early church fathers. The Jewish law states that a man can bring up a child to his brother who died before having children. This is described in the book of Deuteronomy as follows: "When brothers dwell together and one of them dies without a son, the widow must not marry outside the family. Her husband's brother is to take her as his wife and fulfill the duty of a brother-in-law for her." Matthew listed the genealogical order of Jesus according to the natural order. Luke listed the legal order, which is the order described by the Jewish law. So, when Jacob begat Joseph, Joseph became a legal son to the dead Heli, and at the same time, the natural son of Jacob himself. But if Jacob and Heli were brothers, wouldn't both genealogies in Matthew and Luke merge from Joseph's grandfather onwards to David, and therefore have the same names? Well, not if Jacob and Heli were half-brothers from the same mother. In this case, the grandfather of Joseph will have different names because Jacob and Heli were not brothers from the same father, only from the same mother. In fact, this has been explained by 2nd century church father Julianus Africanus and recorded by famous church historian Eusebius from the 4th century. Matthan and Matthat, the grandfathers of Joseph, married in succession the same woman called Esther and begat Heli and Jacob, who were uterine brothers, because the Jewish law did not prohibit a widow from marrying another. By Esther, Matthan, who is a descendant of Solomon, first begat Jacob, and when Matthan died, Matthat, who is a descendant of Nathan, married her and begat Heli. Therefore, we find the two, Jacob and Heli, although belonging to different families, yet brothers by the same mother. The New Testament accounts of the genealogy of Jesus are both correct, and the seemingly irreconcilable discrepancy, according to Bart Ehrman, is actually not a discrepancy to begin with when we know that Jacob begat Joseph as a legal seed for Heli, and that both Jacob and Heli were half-brothers from the same mother.